If you grew up in the 1970s, you didn't just go to school, it was something else. Chalk dust in the air, the crack of the PA speaker, typewriters clacking in classrooms. It was a world that's vanished forever. Today, we're uncovering the hidden secrets that made school happier, richer, and unforgettable without you even realizing it. There was a quiet rhythm to mornings back then, the kind that didn't need screens or snooze buttons to get going. The day began with the buzz of an alarm clock and the comforting smell of breakfast, eggs sizzling, toast popping, and maybe a glass of orange juice on the table. Parents caught up on the morning news through the paper or radio, and kids got ready with their clothes laid out the night before, slipping into corduroys or a favorite sweater that somehow lasted years. Lunches were packed, and backpacks held only the essentials: a few books, some pencils, and maybe a comic for later. The TV might hum softly with Captain Kangaroo while everyone hurried to make the bus. No rush of texting or checking phones, you simply showed up. That simple, steady start gave mornings a special warmth, a blend of routine and calm that has been lost over the years. That first step onto the big yellow bus felt like the true start of the school day. There were no seatbelts, no assigned seats, and never a moment of silence. The cracked vinyl seat squeaked, windows fogged with fingerprints, and the air buzzed with chatter and laughter. Everyone had their unofficial spot. The cool kids claimed the back, the quiet ones stayed up front, and everyone else filled in between. The bus driver was part guardian, part ringmaster, keeping order with just a glance in that oversized mirror. Kids sang songs, traded snacks, and argued over window seats while the steady hum of diesel filled the air. No phone in sight. Everyone was too busy talking and building real friendships that actually meant something. Each ride was its own little adventure, a place for stories, jokes, and making genuine connections. Walking into a 1970s classroom felt like stepping into a world of familiar smells: chalk dust, pencil shavings, and freshly waxed floors. Desks were sturdy wooden ones with metal legs, often carved with initials or doodles from years past. At the front stood a tall wooden teacher's desk, a wide chalkboard, and a pull-down world map that never quite rolled up straight. Color came from posters about cursive handwriting, multiplication tables, and the solar system. The squeak of chalk filled the room, small sounds that somehow made learning feel alive. There were no tablets or smartboards, just notebooks, textbooks, and the occasional overhead projector that felt futuristic. When the bell rang, pencils clicked, papers rustled, and voices quieted. It was simple but full of warmth, a space where learning felt personal, focused, and connected. There was something unique about teachers in the 1970s. They carried authority the moment they entered the room. It was always Mr., Mrs., or Miss, and respect came naturally. Lessons were taught on chalkboards, notes were written by hand, and every report card or essay was neatly penned in cursive. Forgetting homework had no excuses. Responsibility was part of the lesson. Discipline was firm but fair. Talking back meant detention, and chewing gum could start a small scandal. Some teachers had pinpoint aim with a piece of chalk, while others just used the look, that sharp, wordless warning that froze the room. Yet beneath that toughness was real care for the future of the students they had been entrusted with. Teachers knew their students personally and noticed when something wasn't right. Without screens or distractions, classrooms ran on focus and respect. It wasn't high-tech, but it worked, and the lessons, both academic and personal, lasted long after the school bell rang. Before the age of laptops and tablets, the tools of school life in the 1970s were simple, sturdy, and full of charm. Every kid carried a backpack stuffed with spiral notebooks, number 2 pencils, a metal lunchbox, and a plastic pencil case that snapped shut with a satisfying click. Organization relied on neat handwriting, folded paper corners, and maybe a few doodles in the margins. The smell of freshly sharpened pencils and chalk dust was part of the atmosphere. Technology back in the day meant the classroom TV on a rolling cart, a signal that something exciting was about to happen. Film strips, science documentaries, and those fuzzy educational videos broke the usual rhythm of the day. Overhead projectors were considered cutting edge, their glow casting handwritten notes across the wall. Typewriters, calculators, and mimeograph copies added to the mix, making learning feel tangible and real. School fashion in the 1970s was a mix of freedom and subtle rebellion. Dress codes still existed, but students knew how to bend the rules just enough. Bell-bottoms, corduroy pants, and wide-collared shirts filled the halls, while girls wore long skirts, knee socks, and floral print dresses. Sneakers like Converse and Keds were everywhere, and a worn denim or leather jacket instantly added cool points. Some schools tried to keep things strict, banning jeans, short skirts, or slogan t-shirts, but that didn't stop creativity. Kids cuffed their pants, layered vests, and experimented with color and texture to stand out. Fashion wasn't about brands, it was about personality. Even hairstyles made statements. Long, center-parted cuts for both boys and girls, or feathered waves inspired by pop icons. The result was an effortlessly expressive style that captured the decade's carefree spirit, confident, individual, and impossible to forget. The cafeteria was pure and somewhat controlled chaos, noisy, bustling, and full of character. The moment you stepped in, the smell of hot food hit you. Tomato soup, grilled cheese, or the ever-popular spaghetti day. Trays clattered, milk cartons traded hands, and every table had its unspoken social order. Athletes, bookworms, and snack traders. The food itself was simple, but it was the highlight of your day. Mystery meat, mashed potatoes, and those famous square pizza slices with crispy corners were lunchtime legends. Chocolate milk was a rare treat, and no meal felt complete without a pudding cup or wobbly Jell-O square. There were no phones, no food deliveries from outside, just laughter, chatter, and the art of swapping snacks. A metal lunchbox with Star Wars or the Brady Bunch made you a star for the day. More than just a meal, lunch was where stories, jokes, and friendships were served every day. This was by far the best part of the day. Recess. The second the bell rang, everyone bolted outside. No phones or screens, just boundless energy. Playgrounds were alive with hopscotch squares, jump ropes snapping, and the clatter of metal jungle gyms under the sun. Kickball and tetherball rivalries were serious business, and every kid knew the pride of a good game. When school ended, the fun simply shifted home. Bikes hit the pavement, books hit the couch, and the neighborhood turned into one big playground. Tag, hide and seek, and curveball filled the streets until parents called from the porch for dinner. There were no organized play dates or fancy gadgets, just imagination. A stick became a sword, a box turned into a spaceship, and every game felt like an adventure. It was freedom, laughter, and camaraderie, the kind of play that defined growing up in the 70s. School life in the 70s had its own soundtrack, one filled with energy and pride. Marching bands and choirs were huge, and the sound of recorders or brass instruments echoed through the halls. Pep rallies weren't just assemblies, they were full-blown celebrations of school spirit, with drums pounding and cheers shaking the gym. School dances brought disco fever to life with the spinning mirror balls, colorful lights flashing, and hits from the Bee Gees, ABBA, and Fleetwood Mac filling the air. Whether you stood shyly at the edge or danced like a pro, it was all about enjoying yourself. Movies like Grease and Star Wars shaped fashion and conversation, and Spirit Week turned halls into bursts of color and creativity. Without social media, everything just felt more genuine, and you learn how to live and enjoy the moment instead of doom scrolling. Before the age of laptops and Google Docs, typewriters ruled the classroom. Many schools offered typing classes filled with the rhythmic clack and ding of metal keys. Typing wasn't just practice, it was preparation for the working world. Students drilled on finger placement and accuracy under strict instructors, and fixing mistakes meant starting over or using messy correction tape. Those manual machines were loud, heavy, and utterly unforgiving. Yet the rhythmic click-clack ding-shh signaling the end of a line was deeply satisfying, making each carriage return feel rewarding. For many kids, it was their first real brush with technology. a noisy and hands-on introduction to the digital world ahead. School in the 1970s might seem old-fashioned now, but it shaped generations that learned the value of effort, focus, and community. For more nostalgic rewinds, don't forget to check out our video, If You Lived in the 1970s, Your Home Was Like This, and go back to a more colorful time.